Bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
I'm Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and in this presentation, we're going to discuss our Milky Way, the universe, exoplanets, and extraterrestrial intelligence that may be visiting planet Earth. We're going to present a bunch of numbers from the very small to absolutely ginormous and take you through where we are today with the amount of knowledge that we have been able to acquire in just one lifetime. Because one lifetime ago, at the turn of the century, in 1900, astronomers and cosmologists around the world with their telescopes were looking up into the night sky at planets and stars and discovering things. And they were also looking at these gas clouds that they called nebulae. And one of the earliest examples of this is here. This was photographed by Henry Draper in 1880, and this is of Orion, and it took 50 minutes for this exposure. And they were seeing these, but they thought that they were all inside of our Milky Way, that these were just gas clouds. And today, if you go down into the southern hemisphere, like Australia on a clear night, and look up into the sky, you can see these pink clouds up there just floating. Well, all of that changed. It changed with Edwin Hubble, because in 1919, he arrived at the Mount Wilson Observatory, where they had the brand new 100-inch Hooker telescope. And he starts checking out these nebulae and figures out some strange things. And one of them is that they were far too distant to be inside of our Milky Way. And up to that point, the prevailing thought around the world was that our Milky Way was the universe, and that's it. There was nothing else outside of it. Well, this was pretty exciting stuff, except he was fought. And in 1924, he actually proved that these nebulae were much too distant to be part of the Milky Way and were, in fact, distant galaxies outside of our own. In this image here, this is the first, what is thought to be the first image of Andromeda, and you can even see Hubble's handwriting on the negative as he is calculating movement and distance. This was incredible. The New York Times covered this in 1924, but Hubble's results for Andromeda were not formally published in a peer-reviewed scientific journal until 1929. Now, over the next couple of decades, they were counting the stars in the Milky Way. They were mapping out our Milky Way. They were cataloging galaxies now and counting galaxies. And things were pretty exciting. The Milky Way, as it is presented here, is the latest star count and shape of what we think our Milky Way actually is. Of course, we haven't gotten a satellite outside of our Milky Way to photograph it, but this is the latest computer-generated model. And here is where things get crazy, because one lifetime ago, it was just planet Earth. One lifetime ago, it was just the Milky Way, that there wasn't anything outside of it. Today, it's much different, and the numbers have gotten ginormous. our Milky Way, with the latest count, is 400 billion stars. 400 billion. And with the discovery of exoplanets, things have also changed. We had always thought that Earth was unique and that life here was unique and life here was singular and that it was a rare occurrence anywhere in space, in our solar system or in the Milky Way and beyond that out into the universe. Well, the first exoplanet was discovered back in 1992. As of May 1st, 2019, and we are shooting this video on May 11th, 2019. As of May 1st, 2019, there are now 4,058 confirmed exoplanets in 3,033 systems, with 658 of those systems having more than one planet. There's another 4,000 exoplanets that have been confirmed that are waiting to be cataloged. And we are virtually, like per observatory, discovering another exoplanet every single day. If you're an astronomer today, if you're a cosmologist today, and you wake up in the morning and you want something to do, you can literally say to yourself and to your friends, hey, let's go find a planet today. And you probably will. That's where it's at. The numbers are now extraordinary, and we find that every star that we see, every star that when you go out at night and look up into the sky, every star has a planet. Our Milky Way has 400 billion stars. Latest count, 400 billion planets. Now think about that for a second. The question of intelligent life being out there when we thought that Earth was rare and finding the first exoplanet in 1992 was a huge event. It wasn't until 1995 that the second exoplanet or the first official catalog exoplanet happened. Over the next couple of years, 5 exoplanets. 5 years, 10 exoplanets. Okay, up until the year 2000, right? To today, 19 years later, we're up just north of 8,000 exoplanets. So think about that. In our own Milky Way, out of those 400 billion planets, latest guesstimates are that there are between 10 and 50 billion rocky planets like Earth with water sitting in the Goldilocks zone next to a star where there is liquid water, perfect for life. One lifetime ago, nothing. Today, we're dealing with that. Now, everything changed for the second time when the Hubble Space Telescope was launched into low Earth orbit in 1990, just 60 years after his discovery of galaxies outside of our own Milky Way. Here is the first image that Hubble took. It astounded everybody. It's not what we expected. But as you look at this image, everything you see here is a galaxy. We didn't understand that. Every speck of light here is a galaxy. This next image is an enlargement of Hubble's first image. And as you can see, everything there is a galaxy. After that, the Hubble telescope started presenting us with deep field images, the first deep field image here, and then look at the enlargement from the same image. Everything is a galaxy. Now, going back to the numbers of our Milky Way with 400 billion stars and 400 billion planets, and then you take a look at this image, which is a shot of our universe, take a good look. Everything there is a galaxy. Everything that you are looking at, every tiny speck of light, is a galaxy with 250 billion stars, with 500 billion stars. There are galaxies out there with 1 trillion stars. And each one of those stars has a planet. The numbers now today are so extraordinarily huge that we almost can't wrap our mind around it. And as the images started coming in from Hubble and the deep field images were being analyzed, we were able to go look at these other gaseous nebulae out there like this. This is just a shot of the Hubble universe blown up. Here's another one. Here's another one. And here is another. When we look at the universe today, especially these two images here, this first image is a redshift image showing the expansion rate of the universe. And the second image is the latest 3D model of our known universe. But it's only going out a few 100 million light years. It's not covering the edges of the universe because we can't see it. The expansion is happening at such a great speed, approaching the speed of light and beyond, that galaxies now are unseen. And just imagine if you're on the other side of the horizon of the universe, you wouldn't see these galaxies coming at you because they're traveling now at the speed of light or faster than light travel. It's pretty incredible. But that takes us back to our Milky Way and where we are today. If we are dealing with 10 to 50 billion rocky planets with water on them in the Goldilocks zone, what that only could suggest is the amount of life that is just inside of our Milky Way, intelligent life that may be way beyond our own comprehension, is everywhere. And there isn't a scientist on this planet, there isn't a physicist or a cosmologist or an astronomer on this planet today that doesn't think that intelligent life isn't out there. They know now that it must be everywhere. Earth is only 4.5 billion years old, our sun. And we know that it took 4.5 billion years from the creation of our planet for us to be here today, where we are. Most of our progress has happened in the last 100 years. In 1900, we had gas lamps in the streets. We were barely getting electricity into our cities. Telephones and technology and cars hadn't happened yet. All of that has happened within the last lifetime. You need to think about that. So, with intelligent life out there, if it got a jump on us by 100 years, by 10,000 years, by 1,000,000 years, where are they now today? Well, let's take a look at that. Here, since the 1960s, where we started firing up satellites and probes to go to distant planets and the moon, to go check out Mars and Venus, the sun, Voyager 1 and 2, which are our first interstellar craft to leave our solar system. Well, this just happened. This is new, but it's our way of figuring out what's going on in our solar system, right? Well, intelligent life out there has already done that a lot. And it's not just one intelligent species out there from one planet. There are billions of planets out there. There must be tens of thousands, if not millions, of civilizations right here in our Milky Way, out there discovering planets just like we are today. Think about that. Our discovery of exoplanets is one of the most exciting things that anybody can do today in the field of astronomy and cosmology, and if you're an astrophysicist. It's this study today that is propelling and moving everything forward at such a fast rate. Now, the other aspects to this is that if we are sending out probes and building satellites and SpaceX and Blue Origin today, NASA, if that's what we are doing, ET is doing it too. And there are hundreds of sightings every single day on this planet of things that we can't explain out there in the sky. You go out there with night vision goggles, look up, you're going to see something strange. It's nearly a guarantee. It's a given. So what could all of these crafts be? Well, this beautiful blue planet of ours is something worth checking out, right? Of course it is. But the other part now is that we always thought that Earth was unique. As it turns out, it's not. And if we have 10 to 50 billion Earth-like rocky planets in our Milky Way, how many of those are more fun, more cool, more spectacular than planet Earth? Think about that. Maybe those are worth hanging out at before Earth. We don't really have a way to get into interstellar travel, to go out there and visit the cosmos. We don't have that ability today. So with ET, there's probably more interest in those other planets out there that can trade, that can communicate, that can do all of those things that we can't do here yet. But they're here checking us out, just like we are out there discovering exoplanets. The amount of stars just in our Milky Way, putting planets aside, the number is so huge that we don't have the space and the manpower to catalog everything. And then we're going to start naming exoplanets. We're only at 4,000 remaining to be cataloged today. That's a small number. Imagine trying to catalog 50 billion in our Milky Way, and then getting outside of our Milky Way and starting to catalog galaxies. Forget about the planets and the stars inside of those galaxies. You've got 400, 500 billion galaxies to catalog. The number is so huge. I'll give you this example. You could take this guitar pick right here, this guitar pick, and go out in your backyard tonight. Take a guitar pick, hold it out at arm's length, just like this. Any black spot in the sky in between a couple of stars, put the guitar pick up there, just like that. It is now covering 150,000 galaxies. And you can do that anywhere. That's how many galaxies are out there. When you see something like Star Trek, Orville, I love Orville, the new show, and they're out. And they pull up to a planet and they go, what is that? Well, it's an uncatalogued planet. It's undiscovered. And I know a lot of you probably think, wow, that's strange. How would they not know? Of course they wouldn't know. Everything is undiscovered. We're going to be discovering and naming everything for the rest of all time. That's how big these numbers are. So when we look at our planet, and are we being visited? Well, we've got to look at things two ways now. I think that the question about us being alone in the universe has firmly been answered. We now know about how many planets are in our Milky Way and discovering exoplanets every single day. Here's an image of the first photographed exoplanet. Here's another one called Beta Pictoris that was taken a few years later. This is what we are doing every single day. Now, we have two ways to look at our planet now. Two ways. The first one is if there is life out there, there is a reason to keep this place beautiful. There's a reason to not only clean up this planet, but to make sure that this planet is beautiful for our children and our grandchildren and the generations to come. There's a reason to live for. There's a moment where we are going to have real contact, real communication, and maybe even interstellar trade with our neighbors here. I mean, I don't know about you, but I want a T-shirt from Zeta Reticuli. You know, I would really like to get some boots from Orion. That would be really cool. Gemstones and spices and food and just things. That's something to live for, right? The second view to have would be if we are truly alone, if we are so unique in the universe, if life is so rare that the only life is right here on Earth, then there's nothing to live for, is there? Let's just party. Let's just burn this sucker down. We're all alone. There's nothing to do, right? Let's just burn up all of our resources and shut this thing down, and maybe another life form will be created in another million years, and they can cycle through the same thing again. Or we can make this place beautiful. Beautiful for the generations to come, for the moment when we have that real conversation with our friends here in the Milky Way. Those are the numbers. Exoplanets, our universe, our Milky Way, our solar system. I am the host of Fade to Black, Jimmy Church, and our show, Fade to Black, broadcast Monday through Thursday live from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. Everything is easy to get to. All of the links are right there below us. Or JimmyChurchRadio.com, you could subscribe to our podcast, which is just $2 a month. The link is right below. You can join our membership area, become an official Fadernaut. We have all kinds of cool stuff there, and you can get autographed shirts and hats and things like that too. There's all of that, but we don't hide behind a paywall. Everything that you want from Fade to Black is right there. You can listen to the show live each night for free on a multitude of our syndicated platforms. All of our guests and the bios for those guests and the links to their websites and comments and anything that you would like to do on Fade to Black, it's all right there at JimmyChurchRadio.com. There you go. I only have one thing left to say. Go Beckley Tappy.